Hello, my friends, and welcome to Embracing What is Real. I'm your host, Helane Lipson. Embracing What is Real is the forum to explore the nature of reality and the impact our current belief systems have on our lives. All of our deep-rooted old beliefs are what many of us use to judge ourselves and our actions. Our current belief systems impact every single choice we make. So, when we feed our spirit with new empowering ideas about the meaning of life, the meaning of our lives change. Today, I am so excited to welcome our special guest, Jasmuheen. Jasmuheen began her focus on her service agenda at age 7. At age 16, she began meditation using Vedic techniques. In 1993, she began to live on Prana. In 2007, she founded the Embassy of Peace. As an artist, ambassador of peace, international lecturer, author, and leading researcher into pranic living, Jasmuheen, who has been called the world's most famous breatharian, travels the world, spreading her wisdom, light, and love to all those who are open. We have Jasmuheen here with us today, right now. Hello, Jasmuheen.
Hi, Helene. How are you?
I am so good. Even
Good.
better now that I'm talking to you. I
Thank you.
I found you in 2008, and your meditations have had a huge impact in my life, and I just wanted to start off by thanking you so much.
Thank you. I love multimedia. I love YouTube. Anyone can put up little meditations, and the ones we have on our playlist there are great. And I love to see how many people are tuning in and using them and loving them because, I think it's just part of self-knowledge and treating ourselves a little differently. You mentioned in our warm-up about the body love meditation that you love to do as well, and just spending a few minutes every day really connecting with appreciation with the body makes such a difference.
I just recently also started listening to your music and your poetry
Oh,
and music. Incredible.
well,
Beautiful.
thank you. Thank you. It's funny because you just play. Like right now, like many people, I've been meditating for 40 years and doing the deep, serious yogic type practice with a lot of discipline, which is what allowed me to come into the frequency zone of being able to be nourished by pure chi or prana or my essence. But, the last few years I've been working with much more angelic, light, musical poetry energies. And oh, look, it's a laugh. It's so much fun. And I do it just for fun. We put this out there just for the joy of it and, inviting people to enjoy the joy of it. And that's the only motivation, just having fun. It's good. It's nice. And
Oh,
in a positive way.
it's so fun to listen to them too, and the background music is beautiful too.
Yeah.
So, just before I start, you're out there in Australia. I'm speaking to you from the other side of the world. I
Yeah.
wanted to see how things are down under in on the Sunshine Coast.
Well, I live a very strange life because I'm on half of my life on the road, living in hotel rooms in a very zenified environment, just one suitcase and nothing personal. Then moving from hotel room to hotel room and city to city and seminar hall to seminar hall. So when I come home, I hermitize. And, I have a house on the mountains on the Sunshine Coast, and I just live a very quiet yogic lifestyle. I spend a lot of time in silence. I enjoy my grandchildren, husband, daughters, all of that. And I actually don't get out much. But, Australia is an amazing country. The people are very open, very jovial. They don't take things too seriously, but they'll rally at the drop of a hat with great compassion if they're needed. And Australia is just really a fabulous country to be in. And like everywhere, we have changing weather patterns. I'm on the Sunshine Coast, which we often call the rainy coast. We're either in
It's
it's got
funny.
drought happening and we can't water the gardens, or we're in massive type flooding and so much rain. You think the heavens, there's giants above us crying bucket loads of tears. There's so much. Last night, the wind was howling like wolves on the prairie. So, look, interesting times for everyone here. A lot of energy shifts in every country, and Australia's lovely. I'm really feel blessed to be here.
Yeah. Well, lately I've been tuning in to your December 2012 countdown series, and I'd like to kick in
Mm,
this interview by talking a bit about this shift that we're going through that's bringing us more into unity consciousness on the
yeah.
planet Earth. Now,
Yeah.
first of all, can you describe unity consciousness before we jump into where you see us heading?
Look, it's so interesting because everything is dimensional and multi-layered. And so unity consciousness may just be two people working together for a positive outcome to help somebody else. That's being unified. You know, you look at a construction site, people work in unity on a construction site to greater or lesser degrees for the end result of building a building. We look at what we're doing in the world, whether we are individuals clinging to culture, tradition, and not really harmonizing with each other, or whether we are seeing ourselves more as one people living in together on one planet, and can we work together in a more cohesive way so that everything gels for the greater good, so everyone is taken care of. Unity consciousness can symbolize being in that deep rhythm of oneness where there is no higher self, lower self anymore, where your essence, your source energy that's breathing you, is just fully imbued and present and bubbling and shining through the physical system so that you are automatically magnetized into those paradise type realms, or you're automatically dwelling in the kingdom of heaven within you, or you are experiencing the truth of all the holy ones that have gone before us. And you can flow into different levels of all of this. You know, you can be feeling very peaceful in meditation, go out the front door, get into a situation where someone cuts you off in traffic and feel very separate again, him and you. That person who did that, you know, how could they? They nearly killed you or wrote off your car. And suddenly you're not in unity consciousness, you're in judgment consciousness and separation. And, you know, like there's layers and layers. But I think what people are talking about is we're coming into, instead of that busy beta brain frequency of separation and duality, we're coming more into that alpha energy zone that most people get into in meditation, where we're just sort of, I don't know, just gelling, more fluid, more cohesive, more intuitive, more aware of each other, more sensing that we are part of a giant beingness that is quite divine when we tap into it and experience it.
Yeah. Well, no doubt we are moving into a heart centered way of life for those open to live that way. And I guess with that, I want to ask you, what do you see happening specifically on December 21st to the human collective?
Well, given that we are living in a multiversal, multi-layered reality stream, there are people who are existing in deep currents of peace, bliss, joy, happiness, really as if they've found the Garden of Eden again while still being on planet Earth, because they're in a vibrational flow that just keeps them in that rhythm, and they're never confronted with real duality consciousness of positive negativity or black white type reality of that. So some people, you know, many people are in different energy flows right now in the different layers. They're moving from the beta level reality through to the alpha, to the theta, to the deep delta brainwave patterns that the long-term monks go into. And so it depends really where our brainwave patterns are anchored and what reality field we have tuned ourselves into. For those who are already deeply connected and manifesting and radiating their essence, nothing's happening because everything everything's perfection right here, right now. They're already in that zone. For people who are still running in the beta busyness and buying into duality in a big way because they're still needing to play in duality, they may be experiencing great flows of either love and joy and bliss, or the opposite of fear and concern and what's going on. So our light being friends are basically saying they're holding the paradigm with us for us basically to just to go to bed one night, wake up the next morning, nothing seems different, and yet everything seems easier and more harmonic, and we find solutions to conflict a lot easier. We still have things to attend to. You know, there's still things we have created on this planet that we need to refine, to reweave. The fact that every second children are dying of hunger-related diseases, we can fix that really quickly. There's many things we can attend to, and I think with this shift, it'll continue on a reweaving, but with a lot more ease, a lot more joy, a lot more grace. There can be people who need to have horrific experiences of being in devastating areas of flooding or tornadoes or tsunamis or earthquakes or war zones, but that's nothing new. We've been going through this for a long time, and we need to understand that life is just cyclical. We are just ending one cycle and we're beginning a brand new chapter, but we've been weaving the foundation for this new chapter for a long time, and that's what the metaphysicians and the meditators have been doing for a long time, and the dreamers and the people who've been holding in their dreaming and in their own experience that paradigm of peace and harmony and systems that operate for the highest good of everyone.
Oh, well, being part of it all is a beautiful thing. I feel so blessed to be alive here on Earth at a time like this, during this shift of the
Yeah.
ages.
We need to remember too that the minds basically said it was the closing of one door and the opening of new ones. That's all. They never bought in the doomsday reality. That was Western thinking and Hollywood movies, you know, and not and lack of understanding of what's really happening and how new patterns are woven. You know, when you complete the weaving of a certain pattern, then in order to go to the next pattern, foundations need to be laid. Like, for example, living purely on prana. The world's not ready for that. We know that. But the foundations have been laid for this field of possibility, and so many people are aware that there is an alternate source of nourishment available to them that I call cosmic superfuel. You know, it is superfuel, and it can feed us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And really, all it is our essence, our the chi flow that's constantly flowing through life. And the more we are aligned to that chi flow or that essence energy, the more peaceful, contented we are, and we can see the bigger picture much more easily and not be so attached or caught up with the changing rhythms of our world.
Well, I did say as we open this interview, and this is very true, you are probably the world's most famous breatharian, or that is the term that they use for somebody who lives on light and prana. And I know that you travel the world spreading your wisdom and your light and your love for those who are open to this way of life. And some people would say, I mean, I guess living on light, living on love, prana, light instead of food blows most people's minds.
That's just education. You see, it is food. It's just a different type of food. Nobody has educated the West, except for the work we've done, really, into the possibility that we have cosmic micro food available to us. And that's what prana is. It's a different sort of fueling of the system that is completely dependent on an alignment back to the very force of creation. And that force of creation is bubbling within the whole matrix of creation, and it's what keeps our light body together, which then keeps our molecules and atoms all glued and bouncing and dancing around each other, and actually creates the vehicle so that our pure essence nature can come in and experience this dimension through having a physical vehicle. But, we only have, when you meditate, you realize that you are maybe 1%, 0.1% of your consciousness is actually in physical existence in this body. And the majority of us exist throughout the very matrix of creation itself. We are the matrix. That essence in us is in everything. And so it goes back to identification. If we just identify with the idea that we're a physical body system, then we are living in a certain reality field where that physical body system needs to take physical food. But as soon as you go into a real experience, not an idea or an intellectual ideology, but a real experience of that essence energy that's pulsing in every atom, flowing in from the inner realms, pulsing through every cell, formulating the whole physical structure, the stronger it becomes, the more imbued the physical system is with it by our alignment to it, then we just have another choice of another fuel source. So we are fed, just in a different way. And it's controversial because, this is something the ancient yogis have done for a long time, but they never had a formula as to how, except to say, do your meditation, service, satsang, things like that, live a disciplined yogi lifestyle. But we hadn't had a duplicatable model of reality that we could apply everywhere around the world when people are interested, ready, and open. That's also now safe. And it's taken us 20 years of in-depth research to really formulate some good models now. And we have over 40,000 people who have this ability, which is really, Helene, just a freedom of choice. It's fabulous. You can eat for pleasure. Yay! I have fruit now and then with my grandson. He loves it. But all my vitamins, all my minerals, all my proteins, my carbohydrates, everything I need to be fit, strong, healthy, self-sustaining, self-rejuvenating, that's my intention, my program. It comes from prana, from the essence that's running through all life like a river.
Wow. Well, Jasmuheen, I can see how with so many people starving, dying of starvation, and GMOs in the food and fluoride in the water, and the lack of nutrients and toxins in many foods in the supermarket, that the best way to remove yourself from the grid of dependency and enslavement would be to learn how to be nourished by light and prana. Honestly, Jasmuheen, what makes some people able to live as a breatharian and adjust, and what makes others not able?
Well, I looked at that in the early days because for me the transition was quite easy. It wasn't something I expected. I was doing a spiritual initiation that my intention was to experience more of my own enlightened essence nature that's always bubbling within everybody, and to identify more with that, to feel it more. And when I did that and went through this initiation, it actually it increased its frequency emanation through me to the degree that it took away all my hungers physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So I became quite free on many, many levels, but it was unexpected. Then to find out, as you often do later on, that it was my service to introduce into the West, to those who were ready for this, a duplicatable system that works pretty well for everybody. That's taken a lot of research and acceptance too, of playing. And just like guys do in laboratories, we are energy field engineers, really, if you want to look at it like that. And part of our energy field engineering means finding the lifestyle to get to the zone, to get into the channel where the prana currents flow the strongest. So we realized it was lifestyle. And before we go on to that, I just wanted to share that I watched a fabulous documentary recently called Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead, and about a big person from Australia, very obese, on a lot of medicines, a lot of illness issues, who went on a juice fast, and his whole life was transformed into health. He started exercising and doing incredible things just by giving the body a rest from the usual junk we put into it collectively, especially in obesity high countries like Australia, like America, and other countries around the world. So just lightening up the diet is fabulous on that level. But what we found, to take it to the absolute extreme, where we have pure freedom of choice. This means you've tuned yourself in a way that every single cell of your body knows that it is being nourished now by cosmic microfood, and so anything you eat is a pleasure game only. So in order to do that, people have to be meditators. I've never met anybody who does this successfully who hasn't at some point really come into a deeper experience of oneness with their own essence. These people are also aware of how to operate with quantum field intelligence through prayer or through divine communion, or just understanding the universal laws that drive the quantum field. Sorry about that. We have wind here. The door just slammed. But the quantum field intelligence awareness is very important with this because, if we think negatively, that's what we set up and attract. If we keep holding limited paradigms, that's the paradigms we exist in. Just to say, look, if this is in my blueprint, this life, to experience this way of being, to have my essence be strong enough to give me all my vitamins, everything I need, then allow me to move into this experience, this gift of my essence, with joy, ease, grace, in the right way, in the right time. That starts it. But then you have to be so aware of the body. You have to have good mind-body connection, be able to listen to the body and make sure you don't do anything that's dangerous for the body, which has happened in the past. People haven't had the awareness. But, we teach people how to measure their prana percentage, how to increase it. So we increase it through lifestyle, meditation, divine communion, prayer, understanding the intelligence of the quantum field, mind mastery, really aware of the power of the mind to shift energy flows within us and around us, and how the mind can interact with supreme intelligence that runs through the quantum field. A light diet, just lighten up your diet wherever you're at. Just lighter, lighter, lighter. Let go of heavy foods that make you feel bloated and dense. And Helene, I find when I travel, 70-80% of people have been guided intuitively already to eat less and eat live. A lot more live, filled with life force food. Exercise the body is the next one. People who do this, they treat the body as if it's a temple, as if it's the Holy Grail, because it is. It houses this incredible essence that is having this experience of pretending to be human in this realm. The other one people do is service. And this is a really important aspect of this because, if you do something every day for someone else just because you can, it immediately puts you in an energy flow of compassion and kindness, which is very nourishing emotionally as well. So we're looking at an alignment with nourishing ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So service leads then, and part of this lifestyle that we use is silence. Oh, zip it. Shh. Being quiet, That's why I love coming home to Australia, because I'm just in silence. And on the road, I share a lot more, talk a lot more like you do. That's our jobs, at times. But being in silence, being in nature is so energizing. And the Indigenous say, they have so much to teach, as we know, all our Indigenous people now. But they say, in the silence, Mother Nature talks to you. You can hear her rhythms. You can become at one with her needs and really listen to what she requires. And it's a very different way of being, spending time in silence in nature and really opening up to the prana that Mother Nature is constantly transmitting. And then the last thing people use is the power of sacred music, devotional song. We sing or we listen to beautiful music that tunes our emotional body to very particular rhythms. So the emotional body also has no hunger. Because when the heart is filled with devotion and compassion, heart math, research with the Heart Math Institute. When our heart, the human heart, is filled with compassion, it sends out a frequency through our whole body that brings all our organs and our system into health. And slowly, slowly, safely, just opening up to this field of possibility, but more. We say to people, just open to experience all the gifts that your essence has for you. So many.
Well, I can completely relate to what you're saying, too, because I have lost my desire to eat big meals. I almost feel sickly when I do. And
Yeah.
I am gravitating toward the smoothies.
Yeah.
And I also couldn't help but think, when you were talking about the beauty of nature out in Australia, this is where the Aboriginals were. This was the
Yeah.
oldest people on the planet that
Lemurian
knew.
people.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love. Well, I believe
yeah,
I'm a Lemurian, if you want to know the truth, and also and the Lemurian, the Aboriginal. This
yeah.
is. I see Australia in some ways as almost sacred land.
It's very sacred. I like science. So you look at it as a science in the energy input, energy pool impact here. We've had Australian Aboriginal culture of amazing harmony with Mother Earth for, 40, 60,000 years. We've had white people's civilization of the migrants for maybe 300. It's like our influence in the actual energy field of the land is like a mosquito on an elephant. You know, and so therefore the land herself is strong, she's pure. In Uluru there's massive crystalline structures. It's the center of the country that's constantly keeping the country tuned interdimensionally, multidimensionally, the energy here quite clean. And of course we have the Aboriginal elders who have brought all the knowledge from Lemuria as well. They've been connected with the star beings. They've been connected with Mother Earth on deep levels through all this time, and they've been holding certain frequency patterns that are very nourishing for our world, and they will continue to do so because of their wisdom and the skills they carry.
Interesting. Now you got me thinking about Lemuria, and I guess I'd like to talk a little bit about the ancient civilizations of
Yeah.
Lemuria and Atlantis. Was their plight similar to what we're experiencing now with like darker cabal forces in play and the veil of forgetfulness keeping many people asleep to their purpose? I mean, during Lemuria, Atlantis, and even ancient Egypt, were we in a three-dimensional reality based on duality consciousness? I mean, is that why they fell apart?
Well, you see, you've got to understand that everything is just, I mean, I'm sure you understand, and many do, that everything is just patterns of energy and weaves, and there are many patterns being woven simultaneously. And we need to not look at life in linear time. We need to go into a multidimensional reality. And see, there's so many levels of existence right here now. Like the holy ones in my meditations tell me that every dimension is here right now. And it's just a matter of tuning to it like we do television with the remote control. Channel 7 or the ABC or SBS or whatever we call in Australia, you call it different there over there. But these channels are there. Just because we're not watching them doesn't mean they don't exist. You flick a switch and you're on a new channel. Flick a switch, you're on a new TV channel. Go out the front door, get in the car, drive to the movie, you're in a new TV channel. You get lost in that movie for a couple of hours, then you come back to your normal reality. And it's the same with life. There's layers and layers and layers of realities. And in fact, right now, there's 7 billion plus movies of reality constantly blending and melding and gelling. Back then, there weren't as many because there wasn't such a big population. But, we've always, in the blending of these realities, the dominant frequency will guide evolution. Now, if the dominant frequency on the planet are people playing duality, playing the energies of black, white, forces of good, forces of evil, then that tends to be the main movie engulfing everyone who is playing their own movies within that movie anyway. But if the majority's focus, which is now happening on planet Earth, which has never really happened before, is over, probably close to 7 billion people, or maybe not quite as many, have a very strong heart frequency now where they're just done. They're done with war. They're done with chaos. They're done with separation. They're done with school kids being shot. They're done with girls in Pakistan being killed or shot, attempted to be killed because they wanted education. They're done with oppressive regimes. They're done with violence. They're done with negativity. They're done with, lots of people having lots of money and the gap between the poor and the wealthy growing wider and wider. They're praying in their heart of hearts. They're saying, surely we can live in peace. Surely we can bring through with with all the wisdom we carry, new systems of operation. And this is what we just did in our last global tour. Every audience we were with, we brought through and opened to bring through new political systems, new environmental systems, new educational systems, new social systems, new health systems, new systems that are operating for the highest good of all, and also asking for the intelligent quantum field to download into all areas of conflict to those who are open the perfect resolutions that will deliver a beneficial outcome for all. So we have great power on the inner plane to connect with quantum field intelligence. Max Planck, the founder of quantum, said that within the quantum field, for every problem, there is always a solution to be found. And so through meditation, through clarity, through intention, through focus, through understanding energy field science, we are now, and there are millions now, instrumental in downloading and bringing through and implementing and activating completely new systems of operation. And this is just happening naturally anyway, because the Earth has moved into photon energy. We are being nourished by purer streams of what some people call Christ of consciousness, which is activating our more compassionate nature. If people can't handle that sort of energy, they're dropping their physical bodies, creating disease, accident, leaving here so they can continue their experiences in a plane of duality that suits them. But generally, we're working together really well. And unlike Egypt, unlike Atlantis, unlike Lemuria, we have the chance now, and we will rise and stay risen and find ourselves part of an intergalactic universal community. We'll find many solutions coming that allow us to really refine the systems here on Earth that aren't working for the good of all. But people want it, it's time, and if we want it and it's time, we'll do it.
Ah, Jasmuheen, what a beautiful answer. And although it would seem like many people are still asleep, there's still a lot of light workers, light warriors, starseeds who are responding to this massive infusion of light and love. And they are waking up to their mission. And I believe we are quite a powerful bunch. So what message do you have for the awakened souls? And can we talk about some of the ways they can assist humanity in this divine shift of the ages?
Yeah. Well, thanks for mentioning that. You mentioned our meditations, and one of the things they can tune in tomorrow if they want to. I'm not sure when you're putting this on air, but we're doing a meditation where people can really start to channel beautiful energies in a more collective way, just through what we're doing anyway, through a meditation we'll place on YouTube, because we need to, well, many are naturally opening to receive the frequencies of the higher dimensions that are coming in through the great central sun now, through the galactic center and through our Earth sun and radiating our planet, and to let it flow through us to nourish us, take away all our hungers, and then let it radiate out into the world to nourish others who are open to this. That's a basic meditation that we can be doing. But you see, the awakened ones who are aware of the true nature of their being, that they are essence in form, they don't need any guidance from me because they're already getting their own and they're following their intuitive guidance quite beautifully. Now, you know when you're following your intuitive guidance beautifully because your life is filled with grace. The greatest indicator as to whether you are aligned to the most nourishing frequencies we can align to is that your life ends up filled with grace and everything is an unfoldment of joy and ease and gratitude too. Your heart ends up filled with gratitude. But a lot of people, as you said, are in the process of just starting to say, oh, look, this isn't working for me anymore. I've got to make some changes in life, or surely we can come into more peaceful rhythms. And, you know, that's enough. As soon as we make a statement as a human being saying, who am I? Surely we can live in peace. What's my purpose on this planet? I must be here for another reason, not just surviving and struggling. These are the sorts of questions that we have deep in our heart that stimulate your essence within that is breathing you to say, well, Now you've asked. That's true. There he is. And maybe then you'll find you're guided to do yoga or meditation or lighten up your diet or make some sort of shift. And people can't avoid confrontation now, meaning that if you are out of alignment with your own true nature at this period in the unfoldment of our evolution, you're going to be smacked around in life until you are in alignment. If you're living a lie, if you're not in truth with who you really are and your true nature now, you're living in a relationship that's not serving you, you're in a job that's not really serving you, the universe will find it'll move situations around you to really bring you back into a deeper alignment with the truth of your own being. So that's just happening. It's like we're on a train, we don't have to say anything anymore. I think the time is gone of words and languaging, and we're on a rhythm of change now that is happening whether we acknowledge it or not.
I find that's happening. I find that happening in my life, which is a pure synchronistic event, and I'm just flowing. I want to switch gears a second because you talk a lot about ETs. A lot about ETs, and I want to touch upon that in this interview.
Yeah.
A video that actually caught my attention. You make so many videos. I've seen Arcturian videos, messages from the Arcturians, but a video that caught my attention you made a while ago, it was about ET technology and light beings, and this was through your Universal Harmonization program. And you were talking a little bit about the difference between wise beings of light and extraterrestrials who have advanced technology. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about this. People are coming into a time where they are having to look within and having discernment, having to look at what feels right to them and what feels wrong. So I guess I'd like to hear a little bit more about this from you.
Yeah. Look, I think this is the very beginning of self-mastery, is discernment, is learning to really trust our gut instinct and our intuition. But I like to take it deeper, because one of the things that we teach people, and I'd like to share with your audience here, is when you make a statement that is not a truth for your essence changes the way it breathes you. So you can find out anything you want, like you might meet somebody and in your mind you say just over and over, and watch the rhythm of your breath. You're not changing the rhythm of your breath, but you meet someone and you say, it is beneficial for me to have a relationship with this person, or it is for my highest good to connect deeper with this person. Now, if it's not good for you, it'll feel as if the breath goes right up to the throat and constricts as if you're being strangled, or it may feel in the body as if your organs are shrinking, your lungs are closing down energetically. If it is for your highest good, it feels as if the breath drops right down to the belly, and the lungs and the organs and everything expand energetically. People also feel a change in the beating of the rhythm of their heart. So therefore, we can find out everything that is for us to know just by making a statement as if it's truth. Whether it is or not, whether we know or not is irrelevant, but we act as if it is, chant it over and over, and watch what our normal breath does. And so that's a great tool for discernment, because there's a lot of information out there, and there's many layers of reality. For example, all our world's religions believe in most of them believe in the angelics in some form. So therefore, that realm of the angelics is a very real realm, because enough people have the belief system to make it real and keep it real, because whatever we focus our attention on allows us to give birth to something, to bring something into being, because we are all actually creator gods, whether we accept that term or not, but we are all constantly creating. So similarly, within the multiverses, our science already acknowledges that there are many, many planetary systems that are ripe for life, if not in this universe or this dimension, and they don't really look yet at dimensions dimensions, but M theory is starting to look at this, the theory of membranes, when we look at it from science. And so what we're looking at is there's possibility of many, many fields of existence. And we know already that ETs have been in contact with our planet, with all our governments. Like they say that our world's governments have had contact with 57 different species of extraterrestrial intelligence already. Many of these have been light beings who have suggested the changing of consciousness through different education programs in the world, but our governments have tended to liaise with those with whom they feel they can have a mutually beneficial relationship, which is often technology dependent. So there are systems who have UFOs, who have great technology that was given to our governments that created the stealth bomber, for example. Some people say that. So there's been an exchange of energy with certain extraterrestrial beings, but they've just been around longer than we have in the third dimensional plane of reality. So they have this technology, which we will have in time too. But that doesn't mean they're beings of a fabulous consciousness. That doesn't mean they're beings of great light and love and wisdom who are always operating in any system for the highest good of all. So just like in the interdimensional systems, you have different levels, same on Earth. You have beings here who are so pure-hearted, who are so at one with their essence, who are always operating for the highest good of all, doing the best that they can regarding awareness of how their presence is impacting the whole. And they're very much part of the we and the oneness and the unity agenda. But then you have people here too who are very much about me, 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 me. And you have the same with ETs who are very much about me, 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 their civilization, their culture, the survival of their species as well. So it's very multidimensional. You can't just talk about one thing. And, you know, as I said, I've been meditating for 40 years. And when you sit yourself down, shut up, spend time in the silence, and go into the field of pure love. Just doing the love breath. I am love. I am on the inhale, love on the exhale. And you sit there with the rhythm of your breath going deeper, slower, more gentle, more refined, as per the videos we have on our YouTube playlist. It's amazing what happens. You start to feel these other energies intermingling that are in the field of love that reveal themselves to you as a play of light, as a movement of energy, through telepathy, through an exchange of love, through, you know, some sort of connection. And what's amazing is that every single cell of your body knows exactly who that energy is without thought. No fear, because you're in the field of love. So the answer to that is sit in the field of love, be in the field of love. There's no fear in the field of love, and only beings of love can come into the field of love and match frequencies with you there and let the rest go. It's just a game. It's just weaves of duality. It's just a play. You know, we've played in the energy fields of love and fear for so long. That's duality. I think we know all about that. We know how to create war, violence, separation. We're done. Let's create something that's, you know, uplifting and a different rhythm for a while. And that's what the prophecy time is about, that we're moving into a rhythm of compassion, of care, of concern, of awareness, of sharing a different harmonic, of just enjoying the diversity we have, loving the differences of cultures, of course, but taking the best of everything and just really appreciating and being grateful for all the fabulous things in this world. And, you know, 95% of what's happening in this world is fabulous. It's just our mainstream media focuses on the 5% of things that aren't working as well. And this is the same message our light being friends are saying now, that we do meet when we do go into deep states of pure love. When we sit in meditation, they basically just say, stop, be still, open to feel who you really are. Focus on the rhythm of love. Let that rhythm of love embrace you, imbue you, nourish you, rebalance you, heal you if required, guide you if required, and just be in that space for this period of time now. And that love, that magnetic flow, radiation of love moving through you from the inner plane to the outer, that will do the work.
Ah, beautiful answer, Jasmuheen.
Thank you.
I mean, such extremely important information. Our body has the answers.
Our essence does. The essence is in the body, and yes, it has all perfect answers.
Well, how things make us feel is everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Jasmuheen, I want to ask you a little bit about what you're doing lately. I know you travel quite a bit all over the world, and you do dark room retreats, sacred art retreats. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful artist you are. So fabulous. Your calendar is gorgeous. And
Thank you.
yeah, and you also do pranic living retreats. Can you tell me a little bit about your 2013 schedule? Any highlights about what is coming up?
Yeah, look, I had such a great time this year on so many levels because, I was asked to do an address in Turkey for Peace Day. They celebrate on November the 1st. And so they wanted to know all about our work, and and they wanted me to share a speech, which I never do. I always just channel and let the energy flow through, as you said you felt and have been feeling through this. It's a transmission through the voice and energy. But I did sit down and I did do this speech and have a look at all we've done in the world, particularly with the embassy and the programs we run. The pranic living, it comes through all our retreats, because what pranic living is about is opening to receive all the gifts of our essence, that pure energy that's giving us life and experiencing this world. And it has many gifts for us, and the gift of contentment, the gift of peace, apart from the gift of nourishment physically, emotionally, mentally and spiritually. It has many, many gifts. But in Turkey it was interesting because I thought, well, we're with 3,000 people. Why don't we just put some programs in place and do a bit of quantum field intelligence interaction? So we did. And we didn't have much time. So at the end, we just, as we're sharing the programs through, we just said anything that feels right that we're saying, just say yes, yes, yes from your heart. And at the end of that, I became known as, oh, you're the yes girl, you're the yes woman. And I loved it. So I thought, okay, that's my theme for 2013, just saying yes. So we're designing a program now about all the fabulous things that we can really say yes to, like saying yes to sacred sexuality, saying yes to tantric love, where tantra just means oneness, really going into those divine flows of love, going into the divine flows of love to the degree that you have no hunger anymore, saying yes to alternate nourishment, saying yes to new systems of operation, saying yes to abundance, all the things people do say yes to, but gathering together in groups and applying very particular programming codes and methodology, the way that we like to do it, with a lot of fun and lightness and laughter, and just really tuning in on deeper levels to all the paradigms that are worthy for us to say yes to, and then tuning ourselves completely into these paradigms in ways that are beneficial for everyone. That was things like that we've always done in different ways. It's just presenting it a little differently, and working a bit on political levels and all the levels that are required in the different countries we go to, because we do work, with politicians, we work with natives and tribal people. We just work on all levels around the world, as well as through multimedia and reaching a lot into America through the YouTube channel that you appreciate, and the things that we do there as well. So look, it's fun times for everybody, and I just go where I'm invited. When people invite me and it feels right in my heart and my essence says yes, then I fit it into my tour schedule, and the rest of the time I just enjoy being the beingness that I am, and existing, multidimensionally as I do, taking time for meditation to experience all the other aspects of my own nature as it exists in many realms. And you mentioned the Arcturians. I've spent time in the Arcturian star system. I can visit there anytime that I wish to tune in. I've spent time in fifth dimensional Venus, and we can tune in there with the Lords of Peace. I've connected with the Intergalactic Federation of Worlds through my meditations, found them beaming in, have a seat with them. We all do. We're just not aware of it. Every time we lay our body down to sleep, the spirit is reconnecting with all other aspects of itself that aren't in physical form. And, it's fun. We're all cosmic traveling all the time, and we have so many different flows of reality we can tune to, but we're here now. And now what people are saying is, with most of our focus and attention here now, how is our presence imprinting this energy field called planet Earth? Is it enhancing? Are we existing in mutually beneficial relationships with everyone? Have we connected in with mutually enhancing networks on the inner and outer planes, which is what the meditation we're about to release on YouTube channel will do too. So I just play, sweetheart. We all just play. We follow our guidance and enjoy all the different rhythms. And, of course we meet people who say, this is impossible, you're a charlatan, you're a fraud. And it's like, well, of course, in the sort of energy flow you're in, that appears to be so. But in other energy flows, it's not so at all, and education gives us freedom, and education gives us choice, and education opens us up to all sorts of fields of possibility. And right now, our world is being presented with the most amazing fields of possibility we could never have dreamed of.
Oh, Jasmuheen, you are such a beautiful beacon of light, and it's been such a blessing that I have been able to connect with you.
Thank you. To you too. Well, and keep, you're doing fabulous work. We just do stuff, don't we? You do your my Leah.
I know. And this has been an amazing interview. I wanted to know, is there a message that you wish to leave with our listeners on a closing note?
Oh, look, I know this sounds simplistic, but I always say to every person and every gathering, look, just sit in silence and really open to experience who you really are beyond the mental plane, beyond the emotional plane, beyond the physical plane, and with the sincerest heart, just ask to experience all the gifts that your essence has for you. And that's what Jesus said, ask and you'll receive. And the only thing we qualify that with is just make sure that what you are asking for in this world now is not just beneficial for you, but beneficial for this world in general. And the essence knows, our essence is in charge anyway. We pretend it's not. We get so caught up in our physical rhythms and emotional rhythms and all of that. But our essence is always guiding us in every moment. And if we're ever out of alignment on any level, it just slowly rearranges circumstances and brings us back on track so we can learn and enjoy and share and grow and remember and be more aligned to the truth of that which we really are, if we want that.
Beautiful message. And Jasmuheen, for those of our listeners that want to take a look at your work, to take a look at your site, I know I found you on www.jasmuheen.com. Is that the main avenue to check out your work and see what you're doing?
Yeah, and we've also got the Self-Empowerment Academy. People can spell self-empowermentacademy.com website, which runs our Cosmic Internet Academy, the CIA. And on the CIA site, we have all the teachings or the sharings of the Embassy of Peace in a very simplistic way, from dealing with ourselves, our world, and our universe, and lots of really basic good stuff that works in people's lives so that we can come into rhythms of health and happiness and harmony. But the jasmuheen.com site does that too, and our YouTube channel. People love that. We've had over 3.5 million views so far, which is not, a viral like the latest dance craze or anything like that. But people are enjoying what we're offering on YouTube. But, we like people to go beyond that too and just say to the universal flow, bring me whatever it is that I need to be nourished on all levels so that my presence here is beneficial for all. And maybe they'll find someone else's site that's even better for them.
Well, I'll tell you, I sure do enjoy your site. I enjoy your work. I enjoy your message. And I sure did enjoy talking to you today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Look, Helen, it's wonderful. I know it's taken a while to arrange our interviews because I'm often not here in physical form in Australia. I'm traveling, but it's just a pleasure and to have this opportunity to talk to you and know that all the wonderful things you're doing as well. So, yeah, let's just sail through this coming time and enjoy every moment and all the wonderful things that are in our lives right now, focusing on that.
Absolutely. I also want to say thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to Embracing What's Real. I'm your host, Helane Lipson, sending love, light, and blessings to all. For more information about our upcoming shows, come see me at www.insightsbyhelane.com, www.insightsbyhelane.com. Till we meet again, please remember, you are the love the world needs right now. So be the light, be the love, be the master you were born to be. Namaste.